Hey guys, welcome back to an episode of Off the Shelf. I'm HD, and this week we found off the shelf was...
Have you been dreaming about me?
Have I been dreaming about you?
Yeah.
I wish I was the one people were dreaming about.
Me too.
Yeah. No, it's something. I hope I'm behaving through your dreams.
Oh no, you're not. Dad, please help me!
I'm not actually doing anything to them.
Guess I'll see you in my dreams.
Yeah. Of course not.
Dream Scenario, released last year, starring Nicolas Cage. This film is a, mystery, just a mystery, weird drama, maybe? I don't know. But this film actually came out last year. I wanted to see it in the theater. I didn't get the chance to. There was other stuff coming out around that time that I kind of wanted to see more. But we're watching it now, and I will say, I did like this film, but there were a couple problems I had with it. But before I get into the problems, let's get into things I liked about it. I like the idea of it. I really like the idea, by the way, before I get into the spoilers, right? I'm going to give, pretty much spoilers for, all the big parts of the movie, so go watch it, then come back. Alright. So, I really like the idea of this guy who has, his telepathy powers, right? And he just, doesn't know how to control them, or he accidentally enables them. I like that idea, and he's, kind of unintentionally terrorizing people in their dreams. I really like that idea. But I feel like with that concept, I feel like you could have gotten weirder, but I'll get into that in the cons. So another pro is I think Nick Cage always gets into weird roles, and this was a very weird role for him because he looks really weird in the movie. He acts weird. I mean, he's Nicolas Cage. He acts weird in every movie that he's in. But this movie, he's just super awkward intentionally, right? And that's he just feels this super awkward, super he doesn't have many friends. You know what I mean? He doesn't really talk to a lot of people. He is, his jokes never land. He's super uncomfortable all the time, it seems. He's super defensive. You know what I mean? He's, super... just kind of weird. He's a weird guy, right? And he got a bit of an ego, too, throughout the film. He's got a bit of an ego, too. And I liked that Nick kind of stepped out of, his normal weird roles and did another weird role that we don't really see him in all that much. And I like that. That's what I like about Nicolas Cage, is he's always played these weird-ass roles all the time, and he can always just branch out into whatever weird shit he does. Take a shot for every time I say weird. But, yeah, another pro is I feel like I do like the dream scenarios. I really like those. But I really like what they did with them. I like the visualization. I liked the, how sometimes they were pretty comedic, sometimes they were scary. I liked the way they were implemented. But with that being said, let's get into the cons I had with this movie. Now, with the idea of this film that I really like, I really wish they would have just kicked it into the next gear, got it even weirder. Because yes, this movie is weird, but it's not as weird as I would like it to be. I want this film to be fucking bonkers. I would really like there to be some parts of the movie, you can't tell what's real and what's a dream. You know what I mean? That, I would have liked that. You don't know the border of it. You know what I mean? And maybe they never tell you what the border is, so you'd have to interpret what's real and what's not. You know what I mean? I really like those kinds of, psychological movies. Obviously, this film's kind of psychological, but not too much. I kind of wish they would have gotten more into that, and where you couldn't tell what was real, what wasn't, what was a dream, what wasn't a dream, what Nicolas Cage was actually doing, and what he wasn't doing. I really would like to keep the audience guessing, right? I really like that kind of stuff, and I love good gotcha moments in movies, you know what I mean? I love those, because the ones especially you don't see coming. And I also think, I just wish the dreams themselves were a little more creative. I feel like some of the dreams were just kind of predictable. You know what I mean? And I just kind of wish that they got weirder with it. Maybe instead of it just being a normal setting, have it be on, a fucking pink planet full of unicorns or something. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe not that exactly, but you guys know what I mean. Get zany with it. Get weird with it. It's a dream. Dream settings are weird. If you remember your dreams, most of the time, wherever you are in your dream, it's a fucking weird location, right? Most of the time when you're in a dream. In a nightmare, maybe not. In a nightmare, you might be somewhere completely normal, and that's what makes them scary. But in, like, normal dreams, you're just in random fucking places, right? So do something like that, you know what I mean? And I just think that they could have gotten zanier with it. And then another problem I had is that I didn't like the ending, like, at all. I don't think... I mean, it didn't ruin the movie for me, but I just feel like the last 15, 20 minutes just really kind of mismatched with the entire film's tone. Because the entire film had been this kind of, like, realistic take on if this were to happen. Like, it's super, like, all the conversations are really, and all the confrontations are super uncomfortable, they're super awkward, and, like, it's kind of the life of like, a overnight celebrity, and the fall of it, right? It's kind of a take on that, like, the overnight celebrity, and the eventual fall of the overnight celebrity, right? That's kind of what this film is about. But it does that pretty accurately throughout the whole movie, and then in the last 20 minutes, it does, like, a weird, like, U-turn, and it turns into, like, a parody of, like, social media and ads, which it didn't do at all before, and it's not funny, it's not clever, it's, like, kind of shoehorned in there, it's, like, just kind of smashing in there. It gives concepts that we didn't even know existed until the last 20 minutes. Like, the entire film, they don't explain what's going on or what's happening, and I would have liked them to just keep it that way. I would have liked them to just keep it completely ambiguous, let the audience come to their own conclusion as to what's going on. But the last 20 minutes, they're like, oh no, he had telepathic powers, and oh, this, like, super big corporation was able to harness it, and you put it in a bracelet, and you can invade people's dreams, and oh how funny, they're advertising shoes, or they're advertising their fucking mixtape, or their protein powder, or whatever. And it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And I was, like, really confused, because the whole film had been pretty, like, grounded up until that point, and then it just became a fucking clown show for no reason. You know what I mean? And then, like, they didn't even do anything substantial with the whole them corporatizing telepathic powers idea. They didn't, like, add any substance to it. You know what I mean? Like, all they did was make a couple unfunny jokes, and then they had the ending of the movie having Nick Cage, like, go into his ex-wife, or soon-to-be ex-wife's dreams to see her, and then they walk away together down a street, and then he floats away, and it ends. And it's like, I personally would have liked it. I mean, I know it's weird to compare this movie to probably one of my favorite movies ever made, Noroi the Curse. I love Noroi the Curse. I love the mockumentary style of that film. I'm not saying this film should have been a mockumentary. I'm saying this film could have ended in a similar way of how Noroi ends very, like, mysteriously, very ominously. You know, Noroi has a great ending, saying, like, kind of in the mockumentary style that the whole film is. I kind of wish this movie could have ended the same way. Because there's a part where in the ad for the stupid, like, telepathic bracelet, where they're saying, oh, he was, after attacking a middle school teacher, he was never seen in the public eye again. Just have it end there. Just have it end with a little documentary, not a stupid ad for a joke that's not funny. End it on a documentary, or like a History Channel or an A&E documentary, where they're basically, like, talking. This is, like, the end of the episode, and they're basically saying, we don't know what happened to him, he's disappeared, we don't know where he is. End it that way, because that's mysterious, that's ominous, and that's a good way to end this movie, because it leaves it up to the audience to, like, guess what happened to him, right? Leave it up to interpretation. I always say this. Interpretation is good. I love interpretation because it lets the audience come to their own conclusions. And interpretation of art is, like, the best part of it, right? Not just the art itself, but the interpretation of the art is what makes art enjoyable, at least to me, because you can make sense of it, right? Or you could come up with even better ideas than maybe the director or the writer even had, right? Maybe the viewers themselves can have better arcs and better conclusions of the story than the writers could, and that's why they leave shit up to interpretation. And I kind of wish it just ended on that note, but it didn't. And I feel like the whole ending 20 minutes was very weak. But with that being said, I did like the film. I just think that the last 20 minutes really diminished like my enthusiasm for it. And I really think, even although I would still recommend it, I'd say maybe just dip in the last 20 minutes, honestly, because you're not even getting that much substance. I'd just say just end it before the final 20 minutes. And overall, I would recommend it, although there are some, like, awkward scenes. If you can handle, like, weird, awkward conversations and taboo, weird shit, you'd probably get some enjoyment out of it. If you're, like, a fan of mysteries, if you're a fan of... It's not really a thriller. I mean, it's kind of like a black comedy a little bit, too. It's kind of a bit of a black comedy, so maybe if you're a fan of black comedies, you could get some enjoyment out of it. But overall, I think I'd rate this film a 7 out of 10. Very enjoyable, aside from the last 20 minutes. And with all that being said, I enjoyed it for the most part, and I would recommend it. And yeah, that's all I need to say. I think it's been my piece. So guys, hope you like this video. Share with friends, subscribe, turn notifications. So guys, hope you like this video. Share with friends, subscribe, turn notifications on, comment below how much you liked it. And I've been Runtime HD. Off to haunt you in your dreams.